Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. Welcome to Stock Trading Pro. Today we're going to talk about the best stocks to buy now, but we're going to start out talking about GameStop and the GameStop stock split. There's a lot to unpack here. The stock was up 10% last night. GME stock was up 20% the last time I looked at it. We're going to take a look at that now, but we're also going to go through the entire list of the best stocks to buy now based on the stocks that are going into my trading game plan today. And we're going to break down that big spreadsheet that I show you every day. I want to point out something, though. There was a question that was asked yesterday. Somebody had mentioned there was a comment about a stock that we talked about a year and a half ago. And he made a comment that the stock went down after we bought the stock, or the last time that we actually talked about buying the stock. But we had a buy stop in the order, and the buy stop never got filled. So we actually never got into the trade. And this guy put out this long conversation about the stock went down after I put it into the stock list. I get that, but we never got into the trade, which is one of the things I want to point out to you. Most of the trades that we take are swing trade callouts, and 99% of them are based on getting into the trade using a buy stop order. So it needs to trade up to that price. But let's say we actually did get into the trade. Every single trade we talk about, which we mention pretty much every time we do one of these stock market videos, is stop losses. It doesn't matter if all of the trades work out. What matters is that you take a loss on the trade where you're supposed to, where you plan to take a loss for the risk that you accepted on the trade. And that's a part of trading. It doesn't matter. I mean, it was McDonald's. It was probably from about 18 months ago. We never got in the trade. But if we did, and especially in this market right now, well, I should say all the time, but especially in the way the market's trading right now with massive volatility, you slip up just once and that could turn into a much bigger loss than you planned for. So be super disciplined on the risk side of things. We're going to take a quick 2-second break, just put this disclaimer up, and we'll be right back to talk about GameStop. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today on the stock market video. What we're going to do is we're going to first break down the market, yesterday's market action, and then we're going to go straight into GameStop. Then I'm going to go into the entire list of stocks that I have in my game plan for today, which kind of brings me back to that question that was just brought up about McDonald's. Just because the stock goes into the game plan, such as this list here, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's definitely going to be a stock we're going to trade tomorrow. It still has to meet certain criteria. So we do the game planning 7 o'clock at night, no later than 7. Come back now, like we're doing right now, and we look at the best stocks to buy now, and then we figure out which ones, based on anything that might have changed overnight, which stocks we plan to buy. So we're first going to break down the market. Yesterday's price action, very, very healthy. We also talked about the fact that it was the end of the quarter, holding that bid up for as long as possibly. The portfolio managers did not want to sell, wanted to do it at the last minute to preserve those gains. Well, they waited to the last minute yesterday, literally the last hour of the day, and now we're actually recovering a little bit today. Best trades ahead yesterday were short sales in financial stocks. They have no mojo as far as bullish opportunity right now. We had 2 in our list yesterday. One of them on the short side was Citigroup. The other one was Morgan Stanley. We took the short sale in Morgan Stanley. A couple of members of our community actually took the short sale as well and held it overnight. First thing I want to do is I want to give you a sneak peek at the list of stocks for today so you can make sure you screenshot that. So let me actually pull that into the list right now so you could take a quick look at that. So this is the list of stocks that we're actually going to talk about. You can see it's Friday, April 1st. No April Fool's Day here for us. But first thing we want to do is we're actually going to get into discussing the market. So you can see actually here the futures are up a little bit at 24%, 24 handles, less than 0.5%, coming back a little bit. If you remember a couple of days ago, we were talking about the SPY ETF. We basically said that if this pullback would have been a little bit healthier and caught here, if we would have got this kind of candle after this green one and held the 50, it would have been a really good aggressive long there. But the fact that it just took off again made it a little bit challenging. But now we're setting up what we call a snapback trade. So essentially a snapback trade is a very conservative opportunity where you're looking to buy stock that's bullish, that has what a lot of people know as a bull flag chart pattern. But here's the big thing. I actually want the stock to close on the lows. I know that sounds kind of weird, right? But you think about it. We push up, we pull back. We want the best price because you hear us talk about the optimal entry a lot. So we want to expand the distance between where we're looking to buy that stock and where it could potentially go. So if we have a rally and we actually pulled back at least 2 days, that's usually what I'm looking for. And yesterday that stock closed on the lows. That sets up for me an opportunity to buy yesterday's low as support So you have a really good defined level. And again, I'll show you the chart here. Have a really good defined level as yesterday's support. So we're actually opening up slightly higher right now. But if we push down, test the support and hold, that's an opportunity to buy. So again, we're scripting out what I plan to do heading into today. So if the SPY, and this is really the big picture thing, if the SPY holds yesterday's low as support, if it actually goes down, so it's going to open higher, at least that's where it's set now. We have economic numbers coming out today. If it opens higher and pushes down and buyers step in again at yesterday's low, maybe slightly above, might be slightly below, that's the area I'm looking for. If that holds, then I'll get in there with the bid and look for the market and the stocks to have a rally today. If the economic numbers come out today and push down, which are obviously pre-market, and does not hold yesterday's low, then we start to look to the other side of the market for potential short sales today. So we have opportunities on both sides of the market, but we get a lot of questions about how to game plan the day because a lot of traders believe that the opening of the market is the most confusing part of the day. They stay away from it, and the conversation is, I'll let the market settle in, and that's not the way we do things in our community. I actually teach people how to script what you expect to have happen in the first 90 minutes of the day, especially if you're a day trader. If you're a swing trader, you have to script that entire thing out from entry, stop loss, initial profit target, how you plan to manage the winning trades, and when you plan to add to those trades. It takes all the stress out of trading when you know what you need to do well before you need to do it, which actually takes us over to GameStop stock right now. So if you didn't hear about it last night, the shares are up. Actually, it says 10%. This was actually an article from last night. You can see here the stock is actually up 20% now. So we're just going to break down the news. Actually, 24% at this point. If we just draw a line to see where it is right now, it's actually up at 191 and change. So we're all the way up in that area over here. So let's just break down the news a little bit here and actually talk about what it was. Surged extended after hours. Company said it planned to implement the stock split. The video game retailer said it will seek stock shareholder approval. I can't even talk. Class A common stock, and you can see how the change is going to happen with the stock. So the bottom line is this. This is the big thing, right? This is news. Same thing that we talked about with AMC stock last night, where I think a lot of old school companies, on the surface, it sounds like they're scrambling and getting out of their comfort zone of what they do. That is usually not a good thing for a company. Obviously, AMC last week with the mining company, GameStop now talking about a stock split, and there's other things going on with the company right now. I give them credit for the world changing very quickly and trying to maintain value for their shareholders. Now, as far as how to trade the stock split, obviously, they're trying to do what Tesla and Apple has done recently. Amazon, I think, is the big stock split that everybody's looking for right now. It's interesting. That's for sure. As long as they can maintain the liquidity, it might be one of those stocks that we pop into our list. If you're a regular viewer of our channel, which I hope you are, click that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. We like to trade stocks that are market stocks that are in play every day, stocks that have what we call institutional attention every day. So they have liquidity, which means we can get in and out relatively where we want to. And they have volatility, which means that they offer opportunity on a regular basis. GME stock and AMC stock are more what a lot of people call Reddit stocks or meme stocks, where when they're in play based on those kind of concepts, such as a short float that gets attacked and buying pressure stop goes in there, it's an amazing, kind of hit of adrenaline, but not something that would be in my watch list every day. If these stocks start to gain a foothold in these other areas that they're looking to get involved with, then we might start to put them into our daily watch list. So this now has attention, so we can get that little adrenaline rush because the stock will have volatility and volume. But for me to put it into my watch list every day, I'd need to see it be a little bit more consistent, especially from a volume and price action perspective, so that the tape is a little bit easier to read. So now we're just going to work on over into the other ideas that we plan to trade today. So I'm going to go back over to the sheet. First, I'm going to break down and show you this every day. The breakdown of this stock is that it meets the perfect criteria over multiple sectors. So first thing we want to do is we want to break this down into which stocks are the most likely to see follow through today. And you can see we're really not dominated by any particular group of stocks. So that means that we need to break down a little bit more in depth of the ideas that we plan to trade today. So again, you could take a screenshot of this, take a screenshot because this is the broader list of stocks that meet the perfect criteria, and I'll break it down for you. And I give this list to everybody. If you come into our boot camp, the next boot camp starts Monday. You can get the link for that below the video. I do all of this for you every single night. It's pretty much done for you. Then you just need to go in and pick which stocks meet your personal criteria. So if we go over to the list of what we call stocks in play, you can see that the list it's still pretty big, but it shrank. But this is really the biggest part. You can see these are the stocks that have the top order flow for the week, and the list has shrank dramatically, which means that the dominant buying pressure in the week has subsided a bit last couple of days. Now, the month of March just ended, so you can see that I actually finished this last night. Actually, that's supposed to be the 31st. I didn't get a chance to update that. And you can see that most of these stocks, either tech stocks or, believe it or not, healthcare stocks popping up in the top of that list. And you can see GME actually had a pretty good couple of weeks. So they're actually in both of those lists, and AMC as well. If you haven't been following LAC or QS, I just want to make sure we pop those onto your radar this week. LAC has been really strong. You can actually see it's up again. And QS actually has shown some pretty good order flow as well. Recently, it finally got out of this window. Okay, so now we got a push and a pause, and we're looking for a new move higher. It's actually catching a bit here too. But what I want to do is I want to go over this list, and I just want to break it down a little bit. We're going to talk about this particular list here. I already described the snapback trades to you. I'm going to walk you through these ideas and what I'm looking for and why these stocks that have recently been strong but pushed down. So the snapback trade is one of the most popular trades in our community. We kind of invented it inside the community, but it's a proprietary setup where you're looking for stocks that have obvious order flow, where the tape has now pulled back for at least 2 bearish days, and yesterday's price action closed near the lows. So when you get that price action, we're actually looking for it to push down again, actually, one more push down, and then snap back where the buying pressure that caused that bullish order flow comes back, snaps the price back up, snaps back, and then we look for a new trade higher. Now, the question you might have is, well, what if it keeps going down? That's fine. That's why it's called snapback, because if it doesn't snap back, we just leave it alone. We're only looking at the ones that do snap back, okay? So I'm going to walk you through that list, and we're going to start out with Mara. Obviously, if we're going to talk about Mara, this stock, we need to first take a look at Bitcoin, because obviously those guys are tied together. So Bitcoin is actually pulling back as well, down a little bit. So again, the ideas that we're talking about here have some sort of recent bullish order flow. You can see it's clearly over the 50. You could definitely make an argument that it's still stuck in this box, but we're really looking for a short-term trade. So you got to pull back a couple of days. We are looking for it to open lower, snap back, and then rally. That's the trade that we're looking for. So Mara, RTX, you can see the same thing. And you're going to see some of these have closed exactly at the low, some maybe a little bit off the low. CTSH, again, you can see the setup right there. AMC. So now this is an interesting one. I just want to walk you through the setup on this one, because you can see the other two stocks closed on the lows. AMC closed a little bit off the lows. So instead of it pushing through the lows, what we're looking for when it closes off the low, like the AMC chart, we'll just show you in a second, we're looking for the first push to be down and find support, not break through support. So I'll show you what that chart looks like right here. So AMC here closed off the lows, looking for it to test support at yesterday's low and then find buying. MRVL. eBay, one of my favorite setups coming into today. Run, again, getting over into those solar stocks. Nova. And finishing up with another stock that's been super strong recently, Intel. And you can see it's actually up a little bit here. So the snapback trade, we're actually looking for the first push of the day to be down, then find buyers. Now, we had a couple of those stocks that were actually bullish already. So how do we do that? Well, we don't trade the pre-market price action. We're looking for how it looks after the market opens. We're still looking for that push down. We're looking for the low of the day to be made first, and then the bullish order flow to kick back in. If these stocks that we're looking to push down first, again, we're scripting out the open. If they open higher, then we have a different day trading time frame that we look for to trade that stock, because now the bullish order flow is kicking up, and we look for new opportunities in those stocks as well. So those are the details on most of the stocks we're going to be looking at today. We have a couple other ones, but hopefully you took a screenshot of that. If you haven't joined our boot camp, it starts next Monday. I'd love to see you in there. If you want to learn about it, click down, and there's a little link below there that says Learn to Trade Stocks. I'd love to see you in there. If you have any questions about what we just discussed, absolutely leave a comment below the video and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Have an awesome day trading and have an awesome weekend. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much.